Okay guys, now originally I was going to do the on the water for the DAIWA CG80 versus FUEGO first, but looking at the view count for both videos, it's apparent to me that people really want to see the Shimano SLX first. So I'm going to give you what you want. I want you to take a look at this reel on this rod and see just how small this thing is mounted on the rod, and it's really comfortable. So holy shit, what was that? So anyway, we're going to be throwing pretty much the standard lures, and of course I brought out the Casitas as well to test this against. We're going to start off with the little 1/4 ounce square bill. Okay guys, so I got the square bill tied on. It's already tangled up, damn it. So let's set the spool tension. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to set this to the point where it minimizes the side-to-side play. There we go. Now, one thing to remember in the unboxing, the reel came with 3 brakes on. Now Shimano, what they like to do is, if they like to ship their reels with the amount of brakes activated that the average, you know, the person who's pretty experienced with bait casters can just go out and start casting. So I'm going to see if I can run 3 brakes on with that loose spool tension. If not, I may add a brake, but let's see what happens. Now the water is pretty damn low again for some reason, and it's pretty nasty. Okay, that's not bad. I just kind of lobbed it out there just to let the line settle on the spool. There's a shitload of turtles out here. Hopefully I won't snag one. So that wasn't too bad. Very smooth and quiet. That's with 3 brakes on. Okay, a little bit of fluffing there. Now the wind is kind of all over the place, so there's no one set direction that it's going. Retrieve is smooth. Feels like it's definitely got that more of that Shimano buttery smooth quality than the Casitas. The Casitas had a different quality of retrieve smoothness than normal Shimanos. Okay, so very controlled. This is with 3 brakes on, so about 50% braking. Distance is pretty good. I'm gonna see if I can, how far I can throw this past that that little sign out there. Okay, not bad. Now these Shimano CURADO knobs definitely help with cranking this thing in, even though it's a small square bill. Okay, so pretty impressed so far. Now let's see what'll happen if we turn one brake arm off. Okay, so I'm going to turn this one off, turn this one on, and turn this one off so they're opposite, even though we've proven that that doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm expecting this thing to blow up, but let's see. Okay, definitely a lot less braking. The spool was definitely faster, I could tell. But I had to thumb it a little bit at the end there. Okay, wow. This is pretty free casting reel. Now these brake arms definitely have less braking than the old VBS, but they seem to have pretty decent control as well, even with just 2 brakes on. Okay, let's do overhead. Okay, whoa. A little bit of fluffing. I was kind of watching the lure, wasn't watching the spool. But, okay, so far so good. Okay, a couple more casts. Just see how far we can get this little square bill. Okay. Whew. That's pretty good. I think I'm officially impressed with this spool and its casting ability. I thought that I would have to jack the brakes way up running this kind of spool tension. But yeah, now I would not go any lower. I'm not gonna try to go down to 1 brake. And it just zings that damn square bill out there. It's probably going at least 30 yards. So once again, I was disappointed so far with the specs in the unboxing. You know, had the heavier spool, the smaller spool, non-adjustable brakes. But okay, a little bit of headwind there, but this thing is slinging this little square bill out there. Now, once the Casitas is officially gone, the SLX will probably be tied with the CG80 for having the lightest spool in the $99 reel class. Okay guys, so what happened was there was a wind that was coming in. And normally, depending on the setting, I could turn, you know, if I had an SBS Infinity, I could probably turn the brakes up with the outside dial. And that's one of the disadvantages of this braking system. But so far, I'm pleasantly surprised. Let's go this way. Yeah, this thing just, it's a pretty fast spool. I was too busy paying attention to the spool. I didn't watch the lure splash down. But it seems to be a pretty much set and forget system here, which is what I think Shimano was going for. They were going for the characteristics of that old VBS. Okay, so one thing you can do is you can tighten the spool tension just a little bit to help with that slight fluffing towards the back end. Let's see if that works. Seemed to work a little bit. I didn't tighten it up that much. So yeah, this thing is small. It just disappears in your hand. And this rod doesn't have the lowest, you know, reel seat, but this Casitas is really, really comfortable. The side is really flat. There's no sharp edges. And the way I palm, it just disappears into my hand. Okay, so let's do one more cast. And that was into a slight wind. Try to remember where these casts are landing. Okay, so I'm gonna put the Casitas down for a minute. We're gonna set up the mighty Casitas. Okay guys, so up next is the mighty Casitas. Now I'm gonna see if we can run 2 brakes on and 2 brakes off, just like that SLX. I don't think we can, to be honest. A lot of you who got your Casitas when they first came out, you probably set it up like the old Shimano SVS system with just 2 brakes on, and you probably blew your spool up and was really frustrated. I'm going to turn my external dial all the way to the maximum. Okay, so it's all the way on 6. Spool tension set to just minimize the side-to-side play. Damn it, square bill. Shit, we're finally set up. So at least let's see what happens. Okay. 2 brakes on is definitely doable. I'm trying to remember where the SLX was landing with this lure. Get out of here. Very controlled. Now the SLX was definitely hitting a little bit farther than that sign. So now I can start Now I can start backing off this external dial. Okay, so it's on 6. Let's go down to 4.5 because the spool seemed pretty controlled. Okay. Now just palming this Casitas, there's definitely a difference in palming. Casitas is very, very comfortable to me, but back to back against that SLX, the SLX just disappears in your hand compared to this. Okay. Huh, there's a wind coming in. Okay, so looks like I need to turn the dial up about a half step. Okay, so I can definitely feel a difference. Retrieving in this square bill, the SLX definitely feels smoother, more solid. The Casitas, when burning this in, is making this little, I guess, geary noise. Power seems to be about the same. These are the same gear ratio, 7:2. Like the cranking seems to be about the same. But the smoothness definitely goes to the SLX by a little bit. Probably due to the frame and of course the bigger handle and those CURADO knobs. Okay, we got a wind coming straight into me. Okay, I can't really see who's casting this square bill the farthest. Looks to be about the same to me. The wind is all over the place. Let's go this way. The SLX may have had the ultimate edge. It looks like, just from memory, by about 5 foot. All right, let's try again. Gonna back the brakes down back to 4.5. Okay, so any of you sharp-eyed viewers can just tell me who do you think was casting the farthest? I'm standing on the same rock, same exact spot. Okay, one more time. I'm gonna see how far I can cast past that sign. Shit. I was gonna cast it right into that damn tree. Let me try that again. Okay. Huh. As far as this little square bill, doesn't seem to be a huge difference. Not surprising, the spool weights are very similar. Let me see if I can go lower on the dial. Let's go to 4. Okay, spool's still controlled. Let's keep backing off this external dial. Can you guys hear that noise the Casitas is making when I'm burning in this square bill? Okay. I don't think the SLX was making that noise. Let's go to 3. Let's get brave. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Looks to be about 30 yards, maybe close. Okay, looks like we can go down even more. Let's go to 2. Let's get brave and go to 2. Okay. Probably gained about almost 5 to 8 feet. So that's the beauty of these brakes. You can extract the maximum amount of performance for however many brake arms you have activated. All right, let's go to 2. Why are there so many damn turtles out here? Actually, we're going to 1. Okay, wind kicked up. I could feel it. Caught that lure midair, but it still went out there, and the overrun wasn't that bad. Only towards the end. So as far as the 1/4 ounce square bill, looks to be a tie. I'll have to review the footage when I get home and see who I think casted the farthest. Now keep in mind, I did not go to 1 on the SLX because I would probably blow that spool up really, really bad to where I may not be able to pick out that backlash. Okay, we're gonna go to 1.5. Okay, there we go. So it cured that little overrun, even though the wind was still kind of coming in. Okay. It's time to put on a heavy top water to see how long these things can bomb. Okay guys, back to the SLX. We are throwing the trusty JACKALL Mudsucker topwater bait. And yeah, let's leave the brake settings where they are. Excuse me, let's leave the brake settings where they are. 2 on inside. And spool tension, I'm going to loosen it up a little. Okay, so the side-to-side play has just been eliminated. Let's see what this SLX can do. All right, not bad. Not bad for a first cast. Should have been keeping an eye on the lure, but I'm looking at the spool behavior. Now, one thing that I should say, Shimano should have picked a different name for this because it's a little bit of a, I wouldn't say it's a tongue twister, but it's really easy to just mispronounce SLX. Plus, a lot of people will get confused and think it's a part of one of their bicycle components. Okay, Okay, not bad, not bad. Now it's definitely not doing, you know, MGL distance. I don't know if you remember, I was out here battling the BANTAM, the CHRONARCH, and METANIUM MGL, and they were almost, some of them, well, some of the time they're almost making it to the opposite side of the pond. So I'm going to do one more cast, and then I'm going to see if I can go down to one break. Okay, so that's still going about 40, 45 yards. I can definitely tell the retrieve on the SLX is more refined. That's for sure. Feels more like a Shimano than the Casitas. Okay, let's be brave, and we're just gonna go to one break on. Okay, I'm just gonna wing a little sidearm first. Whoa, that spool the spool was getting up there. I think this might be bad. This might be bad, but I'm gonna do it for you guys. Okay. Oh yeah, that was bad. Oh, let's hope I can pick this out. So definitely one break on. I don't know who's going to be able to, what lure you can throw that you can cast only one break on this thing, unless you just really cinch this spool tension down. Let us hope I can pick this out, or this is the end of the video. Okay, we are going to 2 breaks again. Let's see what this thing can do. Got a wind in my back here. Hopefully you guys can see where that landed. Okay, it's a slight wind coming into us. Okay, so this thing is not, I guess I can say I didn't know what to expect. And it's exceeding my expectations. Of course, it's no MGL, METANIUM, but it wasn't designed to be. This is designed to be able to just get you out fishing, set the brakes up real easy. What the hell was that? Set the brakes up real easy and just get out and fish. Okay, one more long bomb, and then we're going to check on that Casitas. Okay, so I think I got a good idea of where this thing is, the average distance on this thing. Okay, once again we have the Casitas and the JACKALL Mudsucker. So I'm going to turn the brakes externally down to 1. Let's see what happens. Okay, look to be about the same. Maybe a little short. Spool is super controlled with 2 brakes on, 1 on the outside dial, so you know what that means. We're going to go down to 1 brake inside. But let me do a couple of overhead casts. Oops. Okay, my thumb slipped off the spool premature there. Luckily I didn't blow the spool up. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to say that's, looks like it's falling short of the SLX. But I'm not getting a good swing. Let me try a couple more. Okay, there we go. I can tell you this, the casting ergonomics are really good on the Casitas, but they seem to be a little bit better on that SLX, just a little bit, because it's so small. Okay, there we go. Let me make sure this, yeah. Okay guys, gonna go down to one break. Okay, we're going to pop the side plate. Of course, the side plate on the Casitas is not attached like it is on the SLX. And we're gonna turn the external dial all the way up to 6. And just do some easy casts at first. Yeah, I can feel that spool just aching to blow up. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's already exceeding the SLX with this topwater bait. Not by a lot, maybe like 5 foot, but I still haven't even found the limits of the breaking yet. Okay, so let's go down to 5. See if we can get about 5 to 10 more feet or blow the spool up. Shit, okay. Yep. Casitas definitely outcast the SLX with the heavier weights due to the adjustability of the SVS Infinity. Let's see if we can find the limit. Okay, we're gonna go down to 4. And I got some sweat in my eye. Okay. Spool still very controlled. Couple of loops there in the middle. Okay, and we also have to remember this has got a 2mm bigger spool. So it takes less effort to cast these long distances. So I'm going to 3. It's probably too low, but I'm going to go to 3 on the external dial. Okay, wow, still controlled. So we are getting to MGL distances with this Casitas, and I'm still backing the brakes down. So that is why the Casitas chewed up pretty much every other $99 bait caster out there. Chewed them up. Okay, let's go down to 2. I think this is gonna blow up, but let's try. Shit. Okay, that's going well over 50 yards. So there's no need to back down these brakes anymore. The Casitas is definitely the better caster overall. So we're gonna do some power and smoothness tests now. Okay guys, once again we have the SLX. We're going to check out the power throwing this double-bladed spinnerbait. It's not really going to chuck this out there for distance. I'm just going to chuck it out there to try to burn this in. See if I can see a difference in power and smoothness, even more so than I already have. Okay, just lobbed it out there and went about 25 yards. We'll just do an average retrieve. The retrieve is solid. It's not as refined as the CURADO, of course. This does not have X ship. It only has one bearing on the pinion, if I'm not mistaken. But so did Shimano's other reels before they did X ship. Okay, we'll do a medium retrieve. The retrieve is it's pretty doable. Of course, this big 90mm handle and these big CURADO power knobs definitely help. There's so much surface area on these knobs for you to grip and transfer into power. Okay, it's laboring, but it's definitely doable with this 7.2. Okay, I'm going to try to burn this spinnerbait in. Okay. Here we are. I'm going to point the rod straight to it. Ah, this thing is pulling. Yeah, this thing's got some power. This thing's definitely got some power. Maybe the spinnerbait was fouled. Let me try again. Okay. Whew. Yeah, this thing has got plenty of power. I'm very impressed because it's so compact. The gearbox doesn't look to be that big compared to some other gearboxes Shimano has. And of course, no micro gears at this price range. Okay, Casitas' turn, and I'm gonna turn these brakes up. I don't want to risk blowing up this spool. Okay. Damn, freaking overrun. Okay. Okay, so just a normal retrieve, I can definitely feel that it takes more effort on this Casitas. There's no doubt about it. It takes more effort. The spinnerbait is definitely trying to tug the rod out of my hand more with this Casitas. They share the same gear ratio, 7:2:1. So yeah, this Casitas, while it will do this, it will pull spinnerbait duty, it's not going to be as happy doing it as that SLX. Both of them, you know, they're protesting. You can hear them, but the Casitas is a little bit louder. You can hear the gears more on the Casitas. Okay, we're gonna try to burn this in. Okay. Well, it's doing better than I thought it would. That's for sure. Okay, one more time, we're gonna burn this in. Yeah, it's doing it, but it is it's a chore. So that proves it. The SLX definitely has a little bit more power and a little smoother and more refined on the retrieve versus the Casitas, probably due to the stiffness of the aluminum frame and of course the much longer knob and the much longer handle and the bigger knobs. Okay guys, I'm gonna go home now. It is hot out here and I'm going to give you my final thoughts.
Okay guys, so let's talk about what happened out there. I'm gonna try to keep this thing short and sweet because this video is already running at close to 40 minutes. Now in the original unboxing video for the SLX, I stated Shimano took one step forward with the SLX over the Casitas by giving it an aluminum frame. But it took that step right back, going backwards by taking away the SVS Infinity brakes. So what happened out on the water? Well, I'm gonna stand by my statement. Let's talk about the casting first. Now the SLX really surprised me with its casting ability. It's a really free casting reel. It can handle light weights. As you can see, it pretty much just flung that 1/4 ounce square bill out there. I was surprised because I did not think I was going to be able to run the spool tension loose like I did with these brakes, but apparently I was. But then again, that lack of adjustability is also what hindered it against the Casitas especially when throwing that 1/2 ounce top water. As you can see, I could not go to one brake with that lure with the SLX, but I was able to do so with the Casitas and actually use the fine-tuning dial to keep getting more and more distance. And in the end, it was clear that Casitas was out bombing the SLX when it came down to that 1/2 ounce top water by a good at least 10 to 15 foot at the end there. But when it came down to that 1/4 ounce square bill, I really couldn't tell the difference as far as distance between that the SLX and the Casitas. I think the Casitas may have ultimately had the edge, but we're just gonna have to take them out on the field and do some measurements. So it took a step back in casting performance, just like I predicted. Not a huge step back, but when it came to everything else, that's when the SLX took that step forward, and I'm gonna say 1.5 steps forward. Because of the aluminum frame, the Casitas is smoother, more refined, and definitely has a tad more power than the SLX, especially when burning in that spinnerbait. Trying to burn in that spinnerbait with the Casitas, that spinnerbait was us really trying to pull that rod out of my hands, and it was less so doing it with the SLX. And I'm going to attribute that to probably the gears being more precisely aligned during that task. Now it definitely palms better as well. This thing is just absolutely tiny, probably the best palming reel out on the market today in my opinion. So also these knobs and this handle probably help contribute to the more refined, more power, and smoother feeling retrieve of the SLX. So when it comes to casting, the SLX definitely takes a backseat to the Casitas, but then again you have to look at it like this. Shimano gave the Casitas the casting ability of a $300+ reel, and originally this thing was 120 bucks, but due to all the heat at the $99 price point, they decided to lower the price to 99 bucks. So since this is now discontinued, the SLX basically has to beat the other $99 reel competitors. not the Casitas. So there we go. Now next up are the DAIWAs. I'm going to take the CG80 and the FUEGO out on the water, see which one casts the best, and we'll see as far as power, refinement, smoothness as well. And then we're going to take all 4 of them out on the field and do a cast battle. Okay guys, thanks a lot.